There is an empty chair at every holiday table in my family, and no one has ever told me why.
True kinship. Stories that feel like family.
My name is Mara. I am the youngest of 4, and for 26 years, I lived in a house where one name was never spoken out loud. Not once. Not even by accident. I used to think every family had a room like ours. A topic everyone tiptoed around without ever naming it. It took me years to understand that our silence was not normal. It was a wound, dressed up to look like peace. Growing up, our kitchen smelled like cinnamon and old coffee. My mother, Diane, kept the radio on low, always some soft station humming under our conversations. My older sister, Renata, ran the house like a general. Lists on the fridge, dinner at 6, no exceptions. My brother David built model airplanes at the table and rarely looked up when I talked to him. It felt normal. It felt whole. Until I found the box. I was 11. I was looking for tape in the hallway closet, and instead I found a shoebox pushed behind winter coats, wrapped twice in a grocery bag, like someone was trying to bury it. Inside were letters, dozens of them, addressed to my mother from a place called Fenwick Correctional Facility. The name on the return address was Elias Whitfield, my last name. I asked my mother who Elias was. She went completely still, like someone had pressed pause on her. Her hand froze over the pot she was stirring. Then she said, "Go wash up for dinner," and never answered. Not that night, and not for another 11 years. That silence became a pattern. Every time his name came close to the surface. A photo I found, a school form asking for siblings, a slip of my own tongue, the room would change. My mother's hands would stop moving. Renata would suddenly need to leave the kitchen. David would turn the television up, louder than it needed to be. Nobody yelled. Nobody explained. They just disappeared into themselves, right in front of me, over and over again. For years, I let it go. I told myself it was not my business. But some questions do not fade with time. They just wait, patiently, for the right moment to surface again. When I turned 22, I started asking again. Quietly at first. I asked David over coffee who Elias was. He set his cup down very carefully, like it might break in his hands, and said, "That is not your story to carry, Mara." Then he left early, claiming a headache he did not have. I asked Renata next. She was folding laundry and her hands went still over a towel, mid-fold, frozen. "He is not someone we talk about," she said. Her voice cracked on the word talk. I had never once heard my sister's voice crack before. Not at funerals, not at anything. So I did what nobody in that house wanted me to do. I wrote a letter to Fenwick Correctional Facility myself. 3 weeks later, a letter came back. Handwriting I did not recognize. Careful, slanted, almost apologetic on the page. He wrote, "I did not think anyone in that house still remembered my name." I read that line probably 20 times, sitting alone in my car in a grocery store parking lot. We began writing back and forth, Elias and I, for months. Letters, then a phone line, then a visit I told no one about. He told me he was 19 when he was arrested for a robbery at a gas station off Route 9. A clerk had died that night, a father of 2, the paper said. Elias was charged as the driver. He told me he pleaded guilty, and then he told me, very plainly, that he was not the one driving that car. I sat with that sentence for a long time before I believed it. I brought this straight to my mother. I asked her point blank, why a man who says he is innocent has been erased from our family for 18 years. My mother's face changed in a way I will never forget. Not anger, something closer to grief that had been frozen solid and was suddenly, painfully thawing. She said, "You don't understand what that year did to this family." And then she left the room, again like she always did. I went to David next. I told him everything Elias had written to me. David finally looked up from whatever model he was building. He said, "Some doors stay closed for a reason, Mara. Leave it alone." But his hands were shaking, badly when he said it, and I noticed. It was Renata who broke first. I found her on the back porch one night, staring at nothing, a cold cup of tea beside her. I sat down and simply said his name, Elias. She flinched like I had struck her across the face. "You want to know why nobody talks about him?" she said finally, after a long silence. Her voice was low, barely above a whisper. "Because I was in that car, the whole time. I did not move. I did not breathe. I just waited. She told me everything then, all at once, like a dam finally giving way. She was 17 the night of the robbery. Our mother's boyfriend at the time, a man named Frank, had picked them both up that night, drunk and desperate for cash. Elias had begged Frank to pull over, to just take them home. Renata was in the back seat, terrified, watching Frank run into that gas station and watching him come out running, breathing hard, something heavy in his jacket. When the police came, Frank threatened them both. He said if either of them ever talked, he would make sure their mother lost everything. The house, the custody fight she was already losing, all of it. Gone. Elias, only 19, told Renata to say nothing, no matter what happened to him. He confessed to protect her, and to protect a mother who was already barely holding herself together. Renata was 17, and terrified, and she let her own brother walk into a courtroom and take a sentence that was never his to carry. I have known for 18 years, she said, her voice breaking completely now. And I have hated myself every single day since. I sat with that truth until the porch light buzzed and flickered above us, moths circling in the humid summer air. Neither of us said another word for almost an hour. The next morning, I confronted my mother with everything. The letters, Renata's confession, all of it laid bare on the kitchen table between us. My mother did not deny a single word. She simply put her head in her hands and said, I suspected. I never let myself know. Knowing would have meant losing everyone I had left. David finally spoke too, quietly from the doorway. He admitted he had always doubted the official story. The timeline never made sense to him, not really, but he was only 14 when it happened, and fear kept him silent for years after that, long after he was old enough to say something. I should have said something years ago, he told me later, alone in the driveway. For the first time in my entire life, my family said his name out loud, together, in the same room, without flinching. We did not fix it that day. Some things cannot be fixed with a single conversation, no matter how honest it is. But 3 weeks later, the four of us, my mother, David, Renata, and I, drove 2 hours to Fenwick Correctional Facility, mostly in silence. I watched my mother walk into that visiting room like she was carrying 18 years on her shoulders, every single one of them. I watched Elias stand up when he saw her, and I watched him cry, openly, for the first time in front of his family, because someone had finally said the truth out loud. He kept saying, "You came, you actually came," over and over like he could not believe it. We have hired a lawyer now. An appeal is being prepared, built on Renata's sworn statement and new evidence about Frank, who is now serving time himself for an unrelated crime, 2 states away. Nothing is guaranteed. Some sentences take years, even decades to undo. We know that. We are prepared for that. But every Sunday now, there is a 5th chair at our table, and every Sunday we call Fenwick, and we put Elias on speaker, and we let him hear us laughing again, like we used to, before the silence. He always asks the same question first, who's sitting where, like he is still trying to picture the room he has not stood in for 18 years. The silence is gone from our house now. What replaced it is not a happy ending. Not yet, maybe not for years, but it is something better than silence ever was. It is the truth. And if there is one thing this whole shoebox in the hallway closet has taught me, it is this. The people we refuse to talk about are usually the ones who need us to talk about them the most.